Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to the Ashes of Creation discussion round, the longest running podcast for Ashes of Creation. And today we're gonna have a lot of things to talk about regarding the latest raid footage, and also want to remind you guys that starting with the last podcast, from now on, every time after we're done with the podcast, we will be jumping on the Ashes of Creation community Discord for like an hour long, just a normal chat. Because we want to try to revive the voice chat on the Ashes of Creation Discord. So we will be doing the after hour thing afterwards. So yeah. So what's the first topic?
First and foremost, probably the live stream. That's the thing that happened the other day. It's the big topic everyone wants to talk about. It's the big news topic. It's live stream.
Let me grab that real quick. What's this? Hold on. There we go.
He uses Internet Explorer. This madman.
I'm using Internet Explorer because it's easy. Hold on, there we go.
This madman.
So okay, let me ask you this regarding the live stream, right? Was anything? Let's start with the negative stuff first. Was anything in the live stream? Yeah, I mean the negative stuff. We're known.
Why don't we start with the positive?
Because we always start with the positive. Okay. I mean,
Well, just you want to get start with a positive note.
because there's no. I just wanted to make a segue from saying let's start with the negative things, but there's no negative, so we're just gonna go right into the positive.
Okay, we can try the negative.
No, there's no
what do you think
negative.
is negative?
There's no negative. I really actually enjoyed the freaking live stream.
He was trying to do a bit to where
I was trying to do a bit.
He was doing a bit
for murdering it.
to where there was
God
no
damn
negative
it,
and was
Stackerson.
jumping into the pause.
Trying to do a bit here.
So opening up, we get a day. We get a solid date that the Intrepid pack is coming back. The $500 Intrepid pack, the upgrade to Alpha 1 is coming back on the 5th of this month with the new cosmetic pack.
Yes.
It's gonna be $500. It's gonna be the same price as it was when it originally was here. Now, just to clarify, because everyone has this confusion. This is the $500 store pack, not the $500 Kickstarter pack.
How do people confuse that?
Those are two different things. You just say $500 pack, and people like automatically jump over to it was $500 Kickstarter pack. They are two separate
How
things.
would people make that assumption? Like,
I don't know.
Kickstarter,
maybe.
I mean, if your Kickstarter campaign is over, nobody offers what they offered in a Kickstarter campaign later down the line. You know how much shit that would start?
But I guess the store pack is less known.
are still
The Kickstarter pack did end in 2018, and it's probably less known that it was a thing. And every time someone talks about $500 pack, they're probably talking about the $500 Kickstarter pack. But just the back in 2018, they ended the Intrepid pack, and it's a pack that does not have lifetime sub. It just has you're buying all the cosmetics for that month. You're getting some embers for you're getting embers, and you're also getting access to Alpha 1. And they have been hammering home. They hammered home very hard in the live stream that don't buy it if you're looking to play a game. You're not playing the Alpha 1 test. This is an Alpha 1 test that you're buying in, that you're choosing to buy into.
Yep.
Yes. It is not the finished game.
Let me ask you this. As me and Yoni talked about this a little bit before the podcast. Do you guys think, even though Steven keeps saying, don't buy the pack, you're not buying to play, you're buying to test whatsoever, that there will be people that still are going?
There will.
Yeah.
There's always going to be. It's just like they've said it repeatedly. He put it in the letter. He has said it in the live stream. I think, and then I hope more than not just us have communicated it as well, that you're not buying the game. You're buying.
To say one thing negative though, just to throw it out there, NDA is coming down. Granted, it's $500. It's a very steep price, but you are being able to buy access into the test and play the test. by definition, that's early access.
Yeah.
I mean,
By definition, sure.
yeah, by definition, that is true. By definition,
I mean, it is early access. I mean, I don't know how we can get around this.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing
By
it out, throwing it out
definition,
there.
what do you mean actually by early access?
Well, I think he's saying there's negative stigmas with
Then,
early access, so but people will be like, "This is early access," and then it's kind of like the pay to win.
There's a
thing.
negative stigma with everything.
I'm not saying it's pay to win.
It's not going.
oh,
Well,
no,
no, I'm
no,
just
no,
kind
no,
of
no,
saying
no,
like
no,
if
no.
something's like a little pay to win, there's no like examination of like the systems as a whole. If there's like one little thing that is kind of beneficial, people like flip out and like throw this label that groups everything from like mobile games where you buy everything to
I think the problem just strictly lies within the way, and I might be wrong, but just in my point of view, the way Intrepid Studio communicates certain things. Because you have people come into the Discord daily saying they will buy the $500 pack. They never read the wiki. They never watched any of the live streams.
yeah.
Well,
Right? All right. So like I'm saying.
Well, let me
that
finish. Let me
also-
finish. I'm not done. I'm not done. Let me finish.
You did a long
So,
pause there for not being
I
done.
do long pauses. I do long pauses for effect. You know, brings out the German accent.
Dramatic effect.
Exactly. So the majority of us, and by us I mean the weirdos that have been sitting on that Discord for the past 4 or 5 years. We know what's up, right? We talk about it every 2 weeks. We've been talking about it for ages, so we know what's going on. But there's also always that type of person or that group of people that you know they see something, they make up their mind without checking or doing research. So I'm pretty sure one way or another you're gonna have people that say this is early access, because for somebody that is not as informed as we are, it looks like early access. So I hope, for the sake of clarification, that when they bring back the $500 store packs, not the Kickstarter packs, Kickstarter's over, if they bring back the $500 store packs, that they put in bold letters as big as possible that this is not early access. Even though it looks like it, it is not early access.
and this is why I want to ask for the definition of early access, because I don't see how this is early access.
You
I
pay.
guess. Well, I think.
You pay
Sorry,
to pay to play a game.
You're
Yeah.
paying to test the game. There's a
I
very
think the
big difference.
negative stigma comes though from people who kind of just release an early game and there's no real roadmap to its completion. They're just kind of like, this is early access to the game and we're going to be adding more stuff to it. I feel like the big difference here is we do have phases to an alpha with planned updates. Although, yeah,
That early access games have the same thing. You have this we're in alpha build 1.340, and then like they have release dates for further. Like most early access games are releasing their alpha, and then that's you're playing an alpha game that that developer of that game, not AOC, but that game is making money off that. They put the game out there intentionally for you to buy it and play it to make money. Intrepid is straight up saying, don't buy it to play the game. You're testing the game. You're supporting the game the same way you would have supported if you would have been a Kickstarter. It's just it's but your Kickstarter's done. You don't get those benefits anymore. You're just supporting the game by buying cosmetics and here play the tests because it's out. I mean, test the game because we're in testing phases. Not don't play the game. Saying it's granted, saying it's an early access, from what I said before, most of the other Kickstarter studios do the exact same thing. They have their store packs are out, and then you can just, hey, we have a test coming up. You want to buy? You want to play it? Maybe they'll have like a free, like, hey, this is going on. But most of them have like, go to our store, buy into our current testing phase.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's got, I think, and I think I said this in the past, them releasing, I find them releasing alpha footage, alpha 1 NDA or alpha NDA at this stage, I find it really silly. But, so I just hope that they put their best effort forward to keep communicating to everybody that this is a testing phase. This is not early
Well-
access, and you know, because you know you're gonna have one or two content creators. They're gonna bank on the concept or the way it looks. Like it looks like early access to some people, and they're gonna make content. They're calling it early access, just to bank on the views and all that stuff.
So early, so you not, you can buy the Intrepid pack, the $500 Alpha 1 access, the 5th. We have NDA week-long, like no NDA week-long test next week, the 14th, and that's 1 week long.
Yes.
Friday the 14th through Friday the 21st, I believe.
Yes.
I'm just laying off dates. I'm not actually like making a point here. I'm just laying off dates.
I mean, okay, so let's get back to the live stream because we're getting
Yeah, we're
off
kind of
track.
going on a tangent.
So I freaking love the live stream. Not gonna lie, the raid footage
Yep.
I enjoyed a lot because it was raid footage. It shows that there's still a lot of things to work on, like a lot of things to be worked on. But I always worried that Ashes will not deliver when it comes to raiding. I'm a big raider, always been a big raider. In World of Warcraft, Wild Circle was to any Western developed game that had good PvE rating, I rated it and I enjoyed it a lot. And now with the dragon fights that we've seen, I think they could create really good and in-depth raids.
These are the same dragons we've been looking at for over a year now.
Yeah, I know.
from-
We seen
I
the
know,
concept
I know,
art and all that.
I know. I'm saying these are the same dragons we've been seeing for a year or two now. Each one had very unique mechanics, and I enjoyed each of them. The poison one, I definitely got kind of Guild Wars 2 rating vibes.
Yeah, Heart of Thorns. Gotcha. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can relate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like the mechanics on the fire dragon. Not gonna lie.
I liked all their
I
mechanics.
didn't see a lot of the fire dragon mechanics besides the mirror images and the
Bomb.
fireball that came down.
Yeah, the bomb.
He has the rage mechanic to as soon as he gets in there. They were listing off all his mechanics. I don't specifically run them right off the top of my head.
I'm not
But yeah, he
saying
has-
I'm not saying those are the best raids I ever seen. I'm saying they
No,
prove that there is potential
but
for them
they're
to make really good raids. That's
and
what I'm
they're
saying.
40-man raids and then not just raids for raid's sake. They're raids that are there for a castle siege mode. You defeat these raid bosses and you get a buff for the castle siege mode.
Yeah.
So they're not just raids for raiding's sake. They're big raid size bosses for a specific game mode that they're doing for yeah.
Taco, yes, but Taco, yes, but you know, there are silly people out there. There are really silly people out there. So some people might still call it early access.
I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna bring it up yet.
All right,
If I'm
back to
gonna
the
bring
raids.
up
Back to
this
the
topic
raids.
again,
Back to the raids.
Sure. What's it called? I thought the raids were nice. I liked the mechanics the different dragons had, as you guys mentioned. I also liked how they were very close to the biomes that they were in, from a natural standpoint, and how big they were.
I was
Even though that being said, like looks like it's their like early drafts of their raid designs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of
Because
looks.
you want to say something, Zach?
Oh no, you go on. Sorry, I interrupted.
What's it called? Stephen did mention in the live stream that it was very early mechanics, and not early mechanics, more of, oh yeah, we're going to work on the raids more.
Yeah. I mean,
So
like I said,
yeah.
I am not saying those raids were like, wow, best raids ever. I'm
We're
just
not
saying
even supposed to have raids at this point.
exactly.
Like,
It shows that they can do raids. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. And I was
We're-
always a little bit worried
we're
about
not-
that.
we're 10. All right, so we are supposed to have a castle. We were supposed to have a castle siege mode with APOC, but it wasn't this castle siege mode that we're getting with the test. And I don't believe it was supposed to have a raid. Like we were supposed to have like raid mechanics with the horde mode, but not the castle siege mode. And then like we're not supposed to have raids in Alpha 1. Alpha 1, if you go off of what they said, like what like Alpha 1's supposed to be, it's purely supposed to be like a back end getting the getting the code down and right the way they want it to, getting the server numbers where they need it to be, and then you'll see like crafting's not there, most of the class, like all the classes aren't there, augment system's not there. We're supposed to be getting like a early view of what hybrid combat looks like eventually, but like persistent testing and like a more put together glimpse of what Ashes of Creation the game is supposed to be, we're not supposed to see that till Alpha 2.
Yes, correct.
And so like it looks good, and we're getting more than what we should from an alpha from the Alpha 1.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we kind of they also said they are implementing the apocalypse siege stuff, so that's a reminder that we were gonna get some good stuff. But and they also said that there will be, what did Jeff say? I think Jeff used the term semi-raid bosses and semi-raids, something like that.
Yeah.
For the Alpha 1, so we're gonna have a lot more within Ashes, content-wise, in the Alpha 1 than you would have in an original testing Alpha 1, at least from my point of view. So you're gonna have some gameplay experience to make it more player-friendly compared to what I know from Alpha 1 to Alpha tests. Because the alphas that I've been part of in the last 15 years, I remember just running around on a map, testing out mechanics and stuff like that. There's no like interaction between systems. So you're gonna have interaction between systems within Ashes within the Alpha 1, which I find pretty dope.
After that, after the raid footage, I believe we got a glimpse of so it like this stream followed like a very basic like their current, ever since COVID started, format of doing things to where like some information, so like and then footage of current status of Alpha 1, and then I think they're working on like a current status of Alpha 1, and then more information, and then looking at some pictures and leaks of just images that were done incomplete, and then the Q&A. After the raid video, we ended up getting a development video of buoyancy.
Oh, you mean with the water buoyancy thing for the ships?
Yeah, water buoyancy, like the little cubes in the water, like showing that they were moving with the waves. And I think we saw footage. I don't know.
How? Wait, let me ask you
We
something.
kind of saw like maybe a boat. It looks like the boat's floating.
We technically yes, but it was I wouldn't really say that
You couldn't
It was
control the
it
boat,
was it
but
was half afloat,
could-
half sinking. Since
Did-
because
it,
well,
it had buoyancy and there was water in the boat. Like that's something they're gonna need to work with. You either
Did that boat remind you guys of Sea of Thieves?
no, what?
The way the boat was, the way.
kind of get the vibes.
No,
but it's
no,
like a
just
boat.
the layout of the ship reminded me a lot of Sea of Thieves.
Oh, layout of the
layout.
ship, yeah,
Yeah, the
but-
layout.
But that's like I don't. Granted, I'm not like a big boat person, but I could argue like
it's
if that's just a boat, if that's just a layout of a boat.
like
Like I
okay,
could play a lot of games and like say that that's the layout of how a boat's supposed to be.
What I'm wondering now is, how is the sailing in Black Desert Online? By the way, do you like how the sailing is in Sea of Thieves when like the big waves go and you go up and over the waves and all that stuff? You think it will be? You think it will be like that in Ashes, or will it just be on a downgraded scale of that? That you just go over like smaller waves,
I don't
Seems
know
like
about
they
Black Desert Online.
want it to be a little bit more wavy.
more wavy,
Yeah.
more realistic?
Yeah.
If you go into a
Yeah.
storm and there's bigger waves.
okay, not to the
Yeah.
extent of Sea of Thieves per se or Black Desert. Wait, no, sorry. No, yeah, not like Black Desert Online. At least I don't see it that way at the very early renditions. Maybe later on they would go back and fix those. I generally don't know because again, Stephen loves immersion.
Yeah, exactly, immersion, and that's the point, because they are really proud of their their seasons and their weather system, changing weather and all that stuff. So I assumed if you have bad weather, if you're out on the sea, then the weather and the waves would change with it.
I mean,
Mm.
I'd imagine if they have some wave going, unless it's like a hacked up
big
system, they would
waves.
have they could have bigger waves. Pretty
Exactly,
easily.
and then the boat goes with the waves ups and down, because that would make sailing look way cooler.
It would
Feel
make sailing
cooler.
way cooler. Until I see the boat drivable, it's just an object. Like there are two things that they do for me. Like right now, it's just another like it's the same as those cubes that were in the water. Like we can see the water moving and the objects move with the buoyancy
Yes.
of the water.
Let me find that real quick.
It's
Towards the end, right?
I mean, the
More
goofy
towards
part
the
is I
middle.
don't know how you do Kendall replication with this, because you have this constantly morphine. Like, I guess I don't know. It's fancy tech that I have not played with.
You're the tech guy on this podcast, not me. So
and then cutting
I haven't made games in a while.
having the water in the vessel as well. That's how you.
Well, I
You-
assume that is just because the way the water's set up, it just clips through the boat.
Yeah.
And they just have to do something so it doesn't render inside the boat, and you don't float if you're inside the boat.
Well, yeah, because the water's like you're below the water line, so like the physics of the water is still there. So like the easiest solution is just have a cutoff point to where like where the water line is, and so like I imagine I don't know if the water physics move with the buoyancy or it's just like, hey, this is the water line, and if you're below that water line, you're like that's like you're gonna get the water physics. I imagine that's how it works, and if that's how it works, you just cut off the ship point to where like this is where this is where the water is, and our ships underneath like the ships underneath that, and then this is where the crew and passenger part is, and this is like the upper deck.
You almost have to handle it in the boat, I think. But I think we're going kind of off topic. Because I think you almost have to just make the boat an area that it just ignores water. So
no, but
instead
that's
of making the water do it on the instead of doing the outside, you need to do it on the inside. I don't know
I mean,
if that makes
honestly,
sense.
if they manage to get naval combat and naval content, which sailing, fishing, if they get that stuff on a really good level, and I would like it to see like on the level where have you guys played Assassin's Creed Black Flags?
Yes, everyone loves.
I've seen it played, I haven't played it.
Everyone loves
If
the
it-
ship combat in that. But here's my thing: like with Sea of Thieves and Black Flag, like how you're saying, those games were specifically made with the naval shit around, like with naval content
Yeah.
as its base. This is like
Everything else
this is
around.
an MMO. Like with MMOs that have naval content on them, like it's very hard because like you could try to make a great like you could either try to make a great MMO or a great naval game. If you try to make a great MMO with naval content, I feel like a lot of the MMOs, I'm not saying Ashes Creation can't do it, Arcage did do it. People love the naval content in that. But most games usually like try to do good in both areas and end up failing in both or one. And then like people just usually like, oh, MMO is fun, but the naval content in that game, that game, not
No,
Ashes
I'm
Creation,
just saying
that game,
like
shit.
that's something they should aim for if they want to separate themselves from other MMORPGs. Because everybody,
It's also something they don't need to have at launch.
no,
They
they.
can have decent stuff and then expand on it later
Listen,
down the line.
in my opinion, they don't
That's
need.
the point.
Go ahead, Yoni.
That's the point I want to make is like, so like a year ago we were actually told, and like we wasn't planned for, like naval content probably wasn't going to be there at launch. The naval content, like like heavy naval content was probably going to be in the first, like we were looking at first like content update after launch. Like you were that's when you were expecting. And this year, this entire like since for a few months now, since like Alpha 1, since like we heard about Alpha 1 Alpha 1 testing like first started back in like December, we've been like they've been working on naval content. We've been seeing a lot more naval content, like a lot more naval shit. Like we know they're working on it. We know where it's at currently. And this is like a system that we were told previously probably wasn't going to be there like fully at launch.
In my opinion, the majority of maybe everything that was on the Kickstarter, which includes Tornar, the Underrealm, naval combat, that can all come later, in my opinion. But if it makes, if you have some more decent naval stuff at launch, it's a better selling point for the game. But you know,
I don't think you could do Tolnar.
Why not?
I
could
have to
do-
jump into this, but at the same time, I don't think they're gonna like.
I know they're not
The
gonna.
art team is going to be the gating factor once they have other races set up.
Yeah.
It's not just like our team. Oh, like the race has its own stats and stuff. Like it has its
Yeah,
own
but the design
stats
team
and
isn't going to take that
augments.
long to put that together. I would imagine, compared to
Well,
the other stuff, they're going to have to spend time
It
getting
could
working.
be a whole balancing thing because you have like depending on the augments and the stats.
They're
the way
creating the
race does that.
entire freaking Underrealm and everything, so that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work because you're pretty much doubling the world in size.
You're not doubling the world in size. It's
almost-
like 400 some odd kilometers with 100 extra for the underworld.
Yeah,
Underworld is
so-
only like 100 kilometers square.
Okay, was there anything else in the live stream that you guys liked?
If we want to talk about the 3D renders, they had a lot of 3D renders.
Yes.
In-game 3D renders.
Good. I want
At the
to.
end.
Okay, let's see where they're at. They're right here. So let's talk
So
about.
what was the first one?
The first one was the one where we thought it's not a necromancer, but it looks
The
more like
druid
a
one.
The druid one, but it's actually a witch apparently.
Yeah, it's a witch costume. It's not a necromancer. Like the community thought it was. I had this big beef about the community thinking it was necromancer when it's not necromancer. It's like screamed forest witch. It's a forest witch. Dark druid, whatever you want. Like dark druid, forest witch. Take your pick on that one, but it's not necromancer. And then we talked about it in the previous stream, and Steven had confirmed like the black nails are part of the cosmetic. I think he said the glowing eyes too. I have to go back
No,
and watch that.
he was here. He was watching when we were talking about
he was in
the
the, he was in
sorrow.
the chat.
Yeah, we were talking about the sorrow one.
No, I talked about both.
Yeah, we
and he-
talked
and
about
he
both.
commented
We
on
started
both.
with the
We
witch.
Yeah, I started
Nice.
with this one, and then it moved. I'll have to go back and rewatch it, but like I don't know if he said the glowing eyes are part of it, but he definitely said the black nails were part of it. I want to say he said the glowing eyes were
I
part of it too.
imagine the glowing eyes are part of it.
Yeah.
The one,
Is that-
I'm not going to get us on a 10-minute tangent. I feel like I could say something that could, so I'm just going to not.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
It.
Okay, I'm wondering what if there's the hair, if there's some hair effect that comes with this cosmetic. Just because like the very distinct dread look they have, it makes me think that that's part of the cosmetic and not.
I
I
don't
mean,
want it to be like I could see it. I could see them like if the eyes are part of it and the nails are part of it. I could be interested to see how that communicates to the other
I mean the
races as well.
nails are only on the female.
Because yeah, I guess
No,
it'd be
the
weird.
guy
if, like,
has black nails too.
The guy does not have black nails. I'm looking at the thing right now. The guy does not have black nails. The
I'm not
guy,
gonna look
the
at
3D
those.
render in the live stream, the female has black nails. The guy does not have black nails. He has normal nails.
Glowing
Mm.
eyes are definitely part of the cosmetic.
Yeah, the glowing eyes
If it
definitely.
turns your character, if you turn your character pale too, if it makes you look like you still have your character customization options, but like if it makes you look more like if it makes your skin pale, like if it's just the eyes and makes you get like gives you long black nails. If you're female, I guess it doesn't do it on the males, but like definitely glowing eyes, both of them, and then the nails. If it does that, then it's cool. If it turns your skin pale as well, and gives you dreadlocks, it's more of a racial skin at that point than it is like
I feel
a
like
cos.
there's a lot
Right.
of racial skins in the game.
I don't wanna think about that. I don't but I'm
We
not
could go
saying that's
off on
how
a
it is.
tangent if we said that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. That's what we're known
feel like
for.
get
We
us on a
go off
tangent if I
track.
said this.
I mean, we're
I don't
about to
know.
go to the. We're
If-
about to get to the sorrow cosmetic. Remember how we went off about
We
that
are
with
don't-
with Steven in the
don't-
chat
don't-
because it doesn't
My problem
is,
look.
like,
this
It doesn't look anything like the concept art.
so it doesn't. And we see the dog. We see the pet for this, and it looks just
Yeah,
like the
that's-
cosmetic. It
that's-
looks just like how it was.
I thought, like literally,
You
I
get
was.
the dog and the costume.
If
And
it-
it's not an armor. It turns your skin molten. You have little armor bits here and there, but it turns your like majority of it turns your skin armor. I don't remember like I don't remember the guy from D&D, like the guy from
No,
World
let
War
me
II.
let me do this. Let me do this.
The
Okay.
Lich King guy.
If you look, because here's I was live streaming, me watching the live stream, reacting to it, right? So when this came up, I said, based on what somebody in chat was saying, if you take the dog, you take the cloak, the hentai tentacle cloak thing, and you take the sorrow armor, right, the dwarf and the human, and you put them right next to each other, they do not look like they belong to the same cosmetic set.
So like I the agreed. So the rest of the suit, the rest of the cosmetics looked a lot like they mashed together. The cloak was the odd one out. I felt when the cosmetic set came out. I'm loving the cosmetic. Like the cloak itself, I do love. And then they're talking about giving it some animations to where like the tentacles are wriggling and moving, and that sounds
Ew.
badass.
I
Like,
think
Basil, you didn't like that? You don't like the idea of that?
I think the sorrow cosmetic.
I could imagine them being slimy as well. I'm like, no.
I think the sorrow cosmetic set armor is the first one where I say I preferred the concept art over the 3D render because of the way the skin
Agreed.
looks.
I'm
not saying it
neutral.
looks
I'm just gonna say they
bad.
look different.
It looks
And then
way
I guess
different.
I kind of have a preference over that undead look. I still really like the spikes that are on the arms and stuff. I think that looks really cool.
I mean, at the
But I
very
do
end,
like
it's-
the more red color than this molten.
Yeah, the
yellow
molten lava stuff is what's just throwing me off compared to the concept art. Because
The
in
molten lava skin
It's
is my biggest problem with the set because it's not armor. And like, all right, so in the cosmetic, when we get the cosmetic art, both the male and female look the exact same. With the 3D render, we don't get a male and female version. So like, I'm just led to believe that like no matter what your gender, it turns your character into this.
Imagine,
And,
imagine
like-
you still have your the same female silhouette that you created in character creation. You just, yeah, it's now just this. Your skin becomes that with the protrusions.
Yoni, what's it called? I mean, I get your point of, oh yeah, the male and female doesn't look any different. Sure, but you need to realize that some cosmetics, there won't be a difference.
I agree with that if it's armor. So the Ashes creation has been like, so Steven said he doesn't want breastplate armor. They've shown breastplate armor, but I get it if armor, like if you're wearing full plate, you can't really tell the difference between like, and that's how it was when the cosmetics set came out originally. I thought it was like full plate, and you couldn't really tell the difference. I was okay with that. This is not, you're not wearing armor. It's a skin. Yeah, you're like, it's your skin, and you have like little bits of armor over it. You're like, this is like a full on like character change for me. Like, it's not like,
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know. I guess when I saw the original, this is kind of what I imagined, where it was just kind of the shoulders. I didn't really see the chest piece, the shoulders and the helm, and then like it looked like it was like skin and then like bandages wrapped around it.
so most people saw it as like you were undead kind of thing. I thought it was just armor that had like an undead kind of like look aesthetic to it. Like it was like they had a rib that you could see the rib cage thing, and people like thought that was like, oh, you're undead. Like this is like, oh, you had this undead kind of look, like how the dog is and how the boat was. Like it's undead, and you have like this corruption kind of glow to you as well. I didn't really get that. Like I was under the impression that like, oh, it's actual like full armor. Like it's full armor with like a bit of an undead kind of aesthetic to it. And like it was full armor, so that made sense why the male and female variant, like the male and female variants, didn't really give up.
Yeah.
And I'm putting way too much emphasis on the fact that it's male, like, but like,
Can I throw something in here real quick?
yeah, sure.
So I'm looking at the concept art for the armor that we're just talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, and I'm comparing it now to the 3D render. And even though they both have similarities in regards to certain things, I would still say that the concept art displays somebody in a full set of armor with cloth gauntlets, because you have pieces of string coming off one of the arms, and the legs look like they're heavily plated, but from bottom to toe they don't look like it's only partially plated. And I don't see any indication of something that looks like molten lava. So I would argue that they either completely decided to change the whole concept behind the cosmetic, or that there was some other process going on.
Another thing, and like I just
Because
wanna talk about
also
this, like,
the
like, say you turned.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Say you turned off helmet. That like if you're like, they could do two ways with this. Either you take off the helmet and your face is just lava as well, but like to match the skin, or you take off the helmet and your skin, like your true face or skin, is on top of this body, like on top of this body. It does it like if taking off the helmet. If it's your face, would not match. It would not match. I don't see why you would take off the helmet. If you take off the helmet and it's a lava face, it matches with the set. But at that point, you're not your character. You're this character.
All right, let's.
This is a full blown, like, not even a racial skin, because like racial skins, but like this is a.
It's something else. Let's move on, because we already spent one podcast going over that cosmetic for way too long. Is there anything else in that live stream that you guys did find interesting besides?
Well, I mean, I wanted to bring up the ice one. I thought the ice one turned out really well.
That's coming up.
Yeah.
I actually,
we already kind of talked about the tentacle cape. it's flipping awesome. If they animate it, it'll be even more awesome. I guess BCG doesn't like it. I don't know if we
No,
want
the
to
tentacle.
briefly go
No,
over
the
that.
tentacle one. I like it. I like it.
I'm
Basil
looking
was
forward to
creeped
that.
out. Basil was creeped out by the tentacle king.
I kind of regret not buying the
creepy
ice
out,
armor now.
because I use squid
You
I
regret buying it?
and it's just I can imagine it being all gooey, and I'm like.
So why did
That's
you
it.
buy
It's
it? It's a tentacle armor. Wait, you regret buying it?
No. When I go fishing, I usually buy squid bait, so I can imagine the
wear squid.
yeah
Okay.
it being gooey. That's it.
Sagerson, you want to talk about the frost armor,
Ice.
right?
Yeah.
Ice armor.
I thought it turned out really well. It was one of those cosmetics I kind of just bought because it was like I kind of like the theme, but I wasn't too sold on the armor, and it turned. I don't know. I think it turned out really well.
It did.
love it.
I agree.
I am regretting not buying it. Be honest with you, that's like one of the sets where I say, "Damn it! Wish I should have bought that. Wish I should have not eaten for a week and just buy it."
I really like how they showed off only breeders mount in the live stream.
The one they leaked.
Yeah,
Oh, the lizard.
yeah, the lizard.
The lizard.
You mean the one
Yeah.
that Steven showed
Yeah.
off? The one we talked about already?
Yeah, the one we talked about last time about the
Yeah.
that you said you wouldn't buy another cosmetic if
Yeah.
this is how cool in-game shit's gonna
Yeah.
look.
I mean, from my point right now, I am not gonna buy any more cosmetics because the cooler stuff is gonna be in game. So, and I already have way too much cosmetics.
They it's gonna be interesting because they kind of covered like because cosmetics. He mentioned this on the forums. Cosmetics are like appearances they're developing for NPCs. It sounds
Yes.
like that's the most of it. So it's going to be interesting to kind of like be able to have those appearances. I don't know. I think that's like really. I don't know. That sounds cool to me.
You can pretend to be an NPC and mess with people.
Well, not just that you can pretend. It's just like it's going to be an appearance that like probably not a lot of people have. So
Yeah, I mean, I
some of them
have.
will probably be pretty unique.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that I have cosmetics that less than 500 people have. I'm pretty damn sure. I'm pretty damn sure not everybody bought the very first cosmetic pack. I'm pretty sure somebody didn't buy stack. A lot of people didn't buy stackers and other cosmetics that were. So I don't have to feel special. I'm special. I have Alpha Zero
I didn't
on.
buy stuff.
Listen, I have the Alpha Zero tag on Discord. I'm more special than any of those new people. I'm super entitled.
Then there, I wanted to mention with the QA if we have nothing else to say about, because I guess the only other thing to talk about is that rock thing.
The rock thing?
No, there's the
Oh, yeah.
timber armor. It's like the only one we didn't talk. The only armor we didn't talk about was the timber armor. Oh, and the rock mount. You're right. You're right. The rock. I completely forgot about it. Like those two definitely want to talk about. Like so the timber armor, the elf armor. I love the armor. The cape, I'm not a big fan of. It's too short. I really hope there's an option to turn off capes.
I'm curious about how this armor is going to animate with how the shoulders go so far backwards again on the shoulder blade. I think it's just good. That's interesting to me. But yeah, it turned out really good. Yeah, it's another one of those cases where when they modeled it, they like took what was in the cosmetic and kind of buffed it out even more and made it better.
Yeah, it's kind of got the Lord of the Rings kind of Sauron helmet going, like a more wooded tree like elfy version of it, but like
I gotta disagree there. You cannot compare the two.
I'm
See what
saying the
he's saying.
visor,
It's
like
like
the
the
way they, yeah, the way the eyes work and the slit down the middle, like that's what I'm talking about here. Like in the fact that you can't see the inside, it's just blackness. Like that was my problem with
if you change the color, you'd see it.
yeah, if you change the color, like I said, it's definitely like an LV version, And I'm like the only part of it that's the Dark Lord, like Sauron, Lord of the Rings, is like the slit, the way the eyes are and the slit down the middle. That's the only part I'm talking about.
All right, can I ask something real quick? Were you guys surprised by the fur on the wolf?
I thought it was way more bushy than I was expecting,
Yes,
but
same
I'm
here.
not against it.
You think that will like drop down as soon as it's like in game?
It's definitely screaming more of a warg now than a wolf. There's a possibility it could trim down.
Because
I definitely.
if again, this is something that's it's I don't know if it's bad or good. It just irritates me a little bit. So how do I best say this? When I look at this wolf or whatever this is, it looks. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything near the thing in the cosmetic pack in the concept art.
I think it does. It's just the fur on the top part's a little bit more bushy than what it was in the cosmetic art. It's definitely it wasn't what I was expecting. I'm not saying I dislike it, but I'm not like it's not. It's not what I was expecting for like
Yeah.
with the bushy top part of the hair.
I think like the bushy part and just the way, like its snout and whatever. Like the one in the cosmetic art looks, I don't know, thinner and more bony, while the one in the video is just, I don't know, looks like muscular, just ripped apart. I don't know if that makes sense.
No,
I think I get what you're saying.
it's definitely trying to go for that more like gory, like like a more like a freshly undead zombie, a corpse with corruption in it, rather than like, oh, this has been decaying for a while, corruption.
I guess so.
This is a bit more gory than
A little bit
rot-
more. A little
rotting.
bit more.
Yeah.
Okay, was there anything else in the live stream you guys wanted to talk about? I think we have time for one more topic.
The last thing
Q&A
we were
thing I
talking
want to talk about, but yeah.
Okay,
talk
Stackerson
about
has something
the
to talk about. That is rare, so we're gonna talk about whatever Stackerson wants to talk about.
But we wanted to also talk about the rock thing. It turned out cool.
The rock thing. I think I don't know.
I had the geode mount.
I don't have it.
I have a. It's like the last thing they showed off.
Yeah,
It's too straight for me. Like I need to see it animated. I need to see it
of
animated.
course, yeah, of course.
It's one of those things I just assume it's going to look better when it's animated. But yeah.
I have to see it moving. It's too straight. It's too T-posy right now. It's
definitely T-posy. Everything is T-posy.
I'm saying that specifically, like that. Like with other things, I could definitely like say like that. The tentacles just going straight down. I like with this animated, like especially the back part. The back part's the thing that like I like it's too barren on the back. I'm hoping like when it starts like moving around and like animated, like I said, like it's like the tentacles just going straight down. When it's animated, it'll look 1,000 times better.
Are those tentacles
no
or are those just roots? They look more like roots to me, to be honest.
It's a geode monster like thing that you ride, and I think he said you like they said you ride on the inside of its mouth, and then yeah, these are like tentacle root things that are. It's like a pearl, I think, and so like the living organisms on the inside of the geode.
Okay.
With you, and so like those are supposed to be like. I guess they're supposed to look like roots, but I imagine they're probably tentacles.
All right. Okay. So okay, Faisal.
I love the Dawnbringer mount, and this is gonna be my second thing that I mostly like. It's so good. How do you not like this creativity?
I like it. I like it. I liked it when I first saw it in the cosmetic art. I'm just saying that like I'm really disappointed that it's not not that it's not animated at this point in time. I'm just saying like I don't like
It looks weird like that. It needs to be animated.
It looks weird. It needs to be animated. It look 1,000 times better.
Hey,
animated.
listen.
It looks weird.
Oh wait.
I have
wait. Wait. No, I cannot talk about that. Damn it. Okay, Stackerson, what do you want to talk about?
They talked about. Steven talked a little bit more about mounts, and it sounds like mounts are going to end up in the end will function kind of I want to compare it to Arcage, where you summon the mount into the world. You can get on the mount. You can get off the mount.
Yeah.
And then he also talked about abilities, which we had already seen abilities on mounts, but that was just kind of cool to hear. I kind of like when mounts work that way instead of just them summoning under you.
You mean like also like in Black Desert Online?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh has the same thing where the
I
mounts
mean,
kind of exist.
it.
I'm kind of.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, go on. I would have another thing to continue. A question I have about it, but
What I wanted to say was, I'm a little bit torn, because on the one side, yes, I want mounts that feel immersive, like horses, where you have to bring them to the stable, you have to feed them, you whistle, they come. But I don't feel like certain other mounts, like magical mounts, like Staggerson, should be treated the same way. I think Staggerson should be a summon.
They're
Uh,
all pretty much like if they are operate like Arcades, they're all gonna operate like a summon. Like they're the Arcades, they're literally items in your inventory.
I
You
know.
put them,
I'm,
and they just pop up.
I know. In World of Warcraft, you summon them, they pop up under you. In Black Desert Online, you don't summon. You whistle. You have to take them to the stable, stuff like that. A little bit more immersive. What I would like to see in Ashes, what makes the most sense for me, is that you have a mix of both. You have on the one side, you have real bred, real, horses or mounts that you cannot summon, and then on the other side, you got mounts like Staggerson or any other magical mounts that you can summon per magic. I would like that system.
I am kind of curious if they're gonna we know animal husbandry has mounts. Like the animal husbandry is like how you breed in mounts and pets and stuff like that. He keeps calling Stufferton Staggerson. I don't know why.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It's a new mount.
I'm curious.
Staggerton.
To see if there'll be another. I'm curious to see if there'll be another
Stufferton.
tree.
Sorry.
If there'll be another different artisan class to where it's more focused on the construct pets and animals, or if that'll be integrated into animal husbandry as well. Like you're making instead of like breeding the magical construct mounts to where like you're making them instead.
Because I thought about that in regards to like water mounts. Black Desert Online, I think, doesn't have water mounts.
It wouldn't make sense. So like another thing is like with water mounts, would you need to have, like, if you're breeding them on your freehold, would you need to have a freehold near the water to be able, like, they talk about how water affects the crops on your in your land.
We're with mounts. Don't go off track. We're with mounts. Stay with mounts.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, would you need have a freehold near water or water on your freehold, like a special pen specifically made for breeding aquatic mounts?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, like maybe you have special pens.
But what was we're going off topic. What was Staggerson? What did you?
Oh, I guess. Well, he kind of went off on a tangent too, talking about how like mounts will be better for different things. Like one mount will be good for engaging, while another mount might be good for running away. Or
yes.
Obviously, no, there's mules, and I'm pretty sure this happens in Arcade where you just have an inventory full of mounts.
Yes.
And I just don't really like that you'd have like all these it's not really a choice. It's just you need to have your engage mount, your runaway mount, your mount for other things in inventory. So if they plan on having some way of limiting the number of mounts you have access to at one time. Like if there's something where it's like you have to equip a mount out of stables, kind of like BDO, and you can only use that mount until you switch it out of stables. Or
I prefer that.
How I'd probably like to see it. Yeah, going to a stable and switching out. But if they don't do that, and if they did more of a
immersive,
not immersive,
realistic.
If they did a no, I'm talking like if they did go with the Arcade method of you just have them on you, I'd probably like to see it of a mix between, if they went with that method, a mix between how Arcade and Guild Wars 2 does it, to where like maybe you put them on, like, you're not keeping them in your inventory. You have a separate inventory for and you only have so many slots of mounts, say like 5 slots. You slot in those mounts, and then you have a little thing down at the bottom, or like say like I hit a hotkey, and then it brings up a UI, and then I can select which mount I want to hop on.
I mean, how I would like to see it is basically depending on the mount itself. Like, I would categorize group mounts to be very different than singular mounts, aquatic mounts being different than
Okay.
that.
I'm
You get to equip a certain amount, not all of them. Group mounts only can be equipped at cities or metropolises or basically nodes,
here.
and pretty much it.
Here's how I would like to see it. You have your normal daily mount that you use to ride around. You can only have one with you at a time. If you want to switch it out, you have to go to a stable or breeder or whatever. Same thing goes with if you want to do a caravan, you want to have a certain mount in front of your caravan, you have to go to a certain place. Like in Black Desert Online, how it works in Black Desert Online, right?
So with a water mount, would you have to specifically go to?
I'm
like, if
getting
you
there.
want
I'm
water-
getting there. I'm getting there. Okay, so those are all the mounts that a breeder breeds for you. That's how I would like to see it, because that way breeding stays a really important job. But then on the other hand, I also would like the option for certain mounts that are less effective as breeded mounts to be summoned via magic, like Stufferton, yada yada yada. You do background, poof. You got a mount that is, I don't know, half as fast as your real breeding mount. Because that way you can deal with water mounts and you can do all that jazz. Because I don't know, to get back to the point where you were making, how the hell do you breed water mounts?
You could breed them in like a normal stable. Like you could breed them on your normal free. I'm just saying it would be more interesting if, like, say, like, oh, I'm looking to breed watermelon, like to make it more diverse, and like make it more to where you have to work you're specializing in one kind of thing, or like you're putting all your work into this, and like if you want to switch, you have to switch out your entire thing, your entire like setup to where, and it's not universal. You have it to where like my current setup is set up for breeding horses. If I want to breed griffins or tide snappers, if I want to bring water mounts or gliding mounts, I have to change up my setup. I have to change up my freehold and setup to be able to breed those other things. It's not just universal. I have an animal stable on my freehold and I can just breed. Granted, it's probably not just like that simple, but like I imagine like the original thought process is like I have a freehold. I have a animal pen on my freehold. I'm just universal. I can breed anything I want. It'll probably be more in depth than just that, but like to bring it the next level beyond that is also to have it to where like I have a aquatic mount breeding pen, and I have a gliding mount breeding pen, and I have a steed breeding, and I have a mule breeding pen. I have a so on and so forth.
No, I got you. I mean, that would be kind of dope, because that would put a real depth into breeding. But I don't know.
Also, if you're gonna have them, the same, if you don't have two separate animal breeding trees, like you have one for breeding and you have one for the more magically ones that we were talking about earlier, like how you have the construct, like how you have the golem pets, like the zombies and the flesh golems and the stuffertons of the world, magic carpets and things like that. Like if you don't have those as their own separate thing, have another pin. If it's all part of animal husbandry, have another pin to where it's where it's this is the magical construct pin. It's not like I'm like you go through the breeding process, but it's like instead of breeding, I'm constructing these things.
I mean, it
And
depends. I think we will learn more about breeding as time goes on. I mean, right now we're just theory crafting at this point. So before we get off track again, I think we're gonna cut it short for today, right? Unless anybody got anything to add, any final words, anything.
We filled the entire podcast with the stream.
I know. Good job. We didn't go off topic as much. Good job, guys. Improvement. And as always, if anybody wants to join us for the next hour, we will be on the Ash of Creation Community Discord for the discussion round after hour. We're going to continue going off track right there, so feel free to join us. And besides that, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and, do your thing.
Probably gonna talk about the stuff we were just talking about and rant and not ranting. Going.
Yeah, we're
off
going to
topic.
get super toxic. We're going to get
But-
super toxic.
I do want to rant about some movies.
All right, guys. Everybody take care, and we see you there. Bye.
Bye.